Have you ever noticed how the quietest person in the room so often holds the most power? The one who says almost nothing, and yet, when they finally speak, the whole room leans in to listen? Before we begin, if these calm thoughts do you good, subscribe to the channel. That way, more people find a little peace. So, let us sit with this together. Picture a gathering. The lamps are warm, the tea is poured, and the voices are rising. Everyone is talking at once. One person begins a story before another has finished theirs. Hands move in the air, each voice strains a little louder than the last, wanting to be heard, wanting to matter. It is a familiar sound. And there, in the corner, sits one person who says almost nothing. They are not sulking, they are not left out, they simply sit, calm, watching, holding their cup. And somehow, when they do speak, a few words softly, the room grows still and everyone turns. Perhaps you know the feeling, leaving a loud conversation more tired than when you entered. You gave so much, you spoke so much, and yet, walking home, you sense that all that noise carried very little. So many words, so little said. That weariness is real and it is worth listening to. It has something to teach us. There is an old teaching that puts it simply: the deepest water makes the least sound. The shallow stream chatters over every stone, but the deep river moves in silence. Think of that shallow stream for a moment. It rushes and splashes over every pebble, loud and busy and full of motion. It sounds like a great deal is happening, but it is only a hand step deep. And then the wide river. It moves through the valley with hardly a whisper, carrying more water than the eye can measure, and it needs to announce none of it. The noise of the stream is not strength, it is shallowness, chattering. And here is where we must be careful, because it is easy to misread the quiet one. We tend to think silence means weakness or shyness, that the person who says little is afraid to speak or has nothing worth saying. But often it is the very opposite. The one who feels no need to fill every gap in the conversation is frequently the one most at peace within. Their silence is not empty, it is full. Let me put it more gently still. The quiet person does not hold back out of fear of the others in the room. They are not shrinking, they simply need nothing from that room to feel whole. They do not require your agreement to feel steady, nor your attention to feel real. And a person who needs nothing from the room, you may have noticed, is the one the room cannot help but turn toward. So perhaps that preference of yours for stillness was never a flaw. Perhaps it was a quiet strength all along. But if silence is strength and not fear, the question remains: what is the quiet person actually doing while everyone else is talking? The answer begins with a single act so simple that most people overlook it entirely. They are listening. Listening. That is the simple act the quiet person is doing while everyone else fills the air. When you speak less, you begin to notice more. The tone beneath the words, what a person leaves unsaid, the real truth hiding behind the argument. Think of it. In a heated conversation, the loud one is busy shaping his next sentence before you have even finished yours. He hears nothing. He is too full of his own voice. But the quiet one, the one with nothing to prove, has room inside to receive. He catches the small tremble in a voice that says, fear is speaking, not anger. He notices the pause before someone answers, the pause that holds the real reply. He sees what the shouting hides. And so, the quiet listener gathers what the loud talker misses. This is the part most people never understand. They believe influence comes from speaking well, from winning the exchange, from having the final say. But understanding, not volume, is the true source of influence. The one who truly grasps another person holds a gentle power over the moment, not to control it, but to steady it. You cannot guide what you do not understand, and you cannot understand while you are talking. Here is an old image I return to often. Picture a mountain lake at dawn, the water utterly still. Because its surface is calm, it holds the whole mountain in perfect reflection. Every peak, every shadow, the pale light of morning, all mirrored without a single mistake. Then a wind rises or a hand disturbs the water, and the ripples spread. Now the reflection breaks into fragments. The still lake reflects the mountains perfectly, a troubled lake reflects nothing clearly. So it is with a calm mind. When you are settled within, you see people as they truly are, not as your own fear or wanting paints them. You see the frightened man behind the angry words. You see the loneliness dressed up as pride. But when your own mind is churning, when you are anxious to be right, you see only your own ripples. You reflect nothing clearly, least of all the person in front of you. Let us rest here a moment. I would like to ask quietly in the comments, which of these thoughts touches you most today? The deep water that makes no sound, or the still lake that holds the mountains? There is no right answer. I only wonder which one found you. And if these words keep you good company, take a moment to subscribe. I ask for nothing more. That way, a few more people might find a little of this quiet. Now, so far, this has been gentle. Listening, calm reflection. These are pleasant enough when the room is peaceful, but there comes a test that is far harder. And I think you already know it, because there is a moment in every difficult exchange when a sharp reply waits on the tongue, ready to leap. Someone has slighted you, misjudged you, spoken carelessly, and the perfect cutting answer rises, complete and satisfying, begging to be said. Most of us let it fly, and we feel strong for a heartbeat. But the one who lets it pass, who chooses to stay still while the water begs to ripple, keeps something the arguer loses. And understanding what that is changes everything about what real strength means. What they keep is their composure, their peace. The arguer wins the last word and loses something far larger, and they rarely notice the trade. Because the sharp reply feels like strength. It is not. It is only heat leaving the body. And when it has left, you are lighter for a moment, then emptier than before. Think of a tree in a fierce storm. The proud oak stands rigid, refusing to move, sure of its own strength, and the wind that tests it finally cracks it at the trunk. But there is an old teaching that says, the reed that yields survives the wind that snaps the proud oak. The reed bends low, almost to the ground. It looks like it is losing, and when the storm has passed, it rises again, unbroken. Restraint is that quiet bending. It is not weakness. It is knowing that you do not have to break yourself just to prove you are standing. Now, let me draw these threads together, gently, into one. The person who is at peace within rarely needs to raise their voice. Have you noticed that? They do not repeat themselves. They do not chase you down the hall to make sure you understood. They say the thing once quietly and let it rest. Why? Because they are not trying to prove anything. There is nothing in them straining to be seen. That is the heart of it. Real authority is not loud. It is settled. It does not chase agreement and it does not fear disagreement. It has no need to convince the whole room because it is not looking to the room to tell it who it is. Picture a single candle in a dark room. The darkness is fast. It presses in from every side, and the candle does not argue with the darkness. It does not raise its voice or demand to be believed or grow anxious about how much dark there is. It simply gives it steady light. Like a candle that does not argue with the darkness, but only gives it steady light. And somehow, that small quiet flame is enough to change the whole room. That is the power of the quietest person. Not force, presence. A steadiness that others feel and lean toward without quite knowing why. And here is something I have come to trust over many years. This quiet strength often grows richer in the second half of life. When we are young, we want to win, we want to be right, to be admired, to have the final word. But somewhere along the way, if we are fortunate, we grow tired of winning. We stop needing to, and in that letting go, something opens. The noise falls away, and what is left is calm and clear and quietly strong. So I will say this to you simply. You do not have to be the loudest to matter. You never did. You need only listen well and speak when your words carry weight and trust the space between them. Let your silence be full, not empty. A resting place, not a hiding place. There is a great difference between the two. One is a quiet you rest inside because you are whole. The other is a wall you hide behind because you are afraid. Choose the first. Return to it often. This is an old teaching, not a law. Take what serves you and leave the rest. Perhaps only one thought here stays with you, and that is enough. Be still, be settled, speak when it matters, and let the deep water make no sound. and may you carry a little more stillness with you wherever you go.